Tom, if you would, please introduce yourself.
Certainly. I'm Tom Knight. I'm the founder and CEO of Invistix. We provide consulting and supporting software primarily to help Lean and Six Sigma implementations at high-mix manufacturing companies.
Is this your first Engineering Lean Six Sigma conference?
No, I've been an attendee and a speaker in prior conferences. Really enjoy a chance to network with the people who attend.
What's your favorite part of the conference? What keeps you coming back?
Really, the networking is the best part. We've got practitioners here from a variety of industries, different stages in their career paths, and I always wind up learning things from the presentations and meeting people that I want to stay in contact with.
Are there any specific lessons or insights you hope attendees are able to take away from your keynote address today?
Yes, I'm going to focus on what I'm seeing as two best practices for companies that have already adopted Lean and Six Sigma and they're looking for additional benefits for their company. Many people at the conference understand Lean techniques and Six Sigma techniques that apply in operations, say on a shop floor or in the day-to-day running of the business. And I want to expand the perspective to more end-to-end supply chain opportunities and how Lean and Six Sigma can offer us some real competitive advantages for our company, whether it's working with suppliers that we're partnered with or going out through the global supply chain and the distribution of our products or services. What I find is if we can expand the perspective to that broader horizon, we can get huge benefits. Not that there's anything wrong with the initial focus on the shop floor, but that we can expand to much bigger opportunities and really provide some competitive advantages. And the two that I'll focus on in the keynote are the use of pull techniques. It's a common term from Lean, but most people are still struggling to find a way to extend pull to their whole end-to-end supply chain. And the second is inventory optimization, which is largely deciding how you come up with the right mix of inventory either between your suppliers and you or between you and your customers or at any of the steps along the supply chain. I find that by offering those best practices to people at conferences like this, they're often able to see opportunities for big savings or big improvements that they wouldn't see if they continue to focus narrowly on the shop floor or the day-to-day business.
In your opinion, which industries or organizations today could gain the most from a Lean or Six Sigma implementation?
They're generally the newer arrivals to Lean and Six Sigma. The high-mix manufacturers that I mentioned. A lot of companies are increasingly engineering to order, or their product introductions are so rapid or their product life cycles are so short, they haven't really captured the benefits of Lean. Or they might have so much variability in demand and forecast error that it's very difficult for them to take the normal Lean or Six Sigma techniques and drop them in cookie cutter, as I mentioned earlier. So those are the areas that I find are the biggest beneficiaries. It does take, like I said, a little broader horizon, and it does take a little more intelligence on picking the right techniques or adapting them to work in those new environments. But whether it's these high-mix manufacturing companies or healthcare providers that are very different environments, I'm still finding great results if you take the principles of Lean, waste reduction, principles of Six Sigma, variability reduction, and adapt them to work in those new environments.
So here's a picture worth 1,000 words, kind of a classic metaphor. It's been around for at least 50 years. If you look at all of the activities in our business, I'll just assume you're in a manufacturing company for now. We're receiving raw materials and that flows at some speed to our customer in the form of a finished good. And if you use the metaphor that all that inventory that's in process is like water flowing from left to right, you can talk about that sea of inventory and how much is flow. And of course, the longer it takes, the bigger that slice of the non-value-added pie, right? Then the first best practice that I want to expose, at least talk about in my talk, is the use of pull methods. And I'll use this picture to illustrate it because it's worth 1,000 words. Most of our companies are still using a push or forecast-driven approach. We guess what our customers are going to buy. Maybe we get an order, but then we push it out onto the shop floor. Or we push it into a distribution center, and then afterwards we figure out what actually sold. That's push. The key difference between push and pull is with push, we tend to push the inventory out. We push the activities or the jobs into process queues, and that inventory could grow fairly high. And all those rocks underneath the stream are the reasons we have to have that inventory. Forecast accuracy issues, long setup times on shared equipment, quality issues. A lot of the good things I've heard presented at conferences like this, is how we can reduce the size of those rocks, because then we can afford to run with less inventory. But with push, there's really nothing that caps that inventory. We're just going to push it out into the process. With pull, again, simplifying metaphor here, you decide, you calculate what the right amount of inventory should be. You set that as a cap for any step in the process. Could be on your shop floor, could be in a distribution center located across the globe, could be inbound from your supplier to your factory. But you decide what the right amount of inventory is, and then you replenish as that has been consumed. And the key difference between pull and push is the presence of that cap. And our experience has been, if you can get in place that discipline of pull, it really focuses people's attention on removing those wasteful rocks. Because the question is, how could we get by with less demand variability? How could we shorten our changeover times and then enjoy the benefits of faster flow, lower inventory, and less non-value-added activities?